roast.
The roast of Jaggeru. I will roast you.
Let's start. Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Jaggeru, and this is Dialogues with Jaggeru. Today, I am with my favorite person.
Yeah.
Shaka, the men have been looking for you, man. Bring Shaka back. They are saying on social media, bring Shaka and the Muyo back.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what they remember about you, by the way. They remember you for being crazy, right?
Crazy.
Yeah. How are you doing? You know, the size of your nyash has gone down.
Has it really gone down? Not significantly.
It has really gone down.
It hasn't.
Yeah, you really had a low nyash, but now you started doing this crazy thing of getting into,
Fitness,
blah blah blah. It has taken your nyash down.
It hasn't. But it hasn't taken it away.
Yeah. It's still there.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
How are you really doing?
I've been doing well, despite the political climate, I think.
You guys are still, Gen Z is still thinking and wondering about political climate.
I mean, always, every day. I don't think we've stopped. I think we get tired when things are a bit too much. Maybe it becomes overwhelming, but it doesn't really stop.
The Gen Z movement is not dead?
I doubt it's dead. I don't think it will be dead anytime soon. Yeah. It may not die.
But then you don't have, you are leaderless, you are amorphous, you are disorganized, and I think.
Is that what Casmuel said when he came here?
No, he did not say that. But I think with Casmuel, his regret is that it was not a good idea to be leaderless at the time. It was important to have a leader, but the Gen Z movement, the Gen Z were saying that if you have a leader, then they can easily corrupt that leader, and then it becomes difficult to move forward.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking that if they are corrupted, then you remove them and put another one until they know that when we put you as a leader, you can't mess with us. Because, for example, right now, who is Gen Z going to front for 2027? Is it Matiang'i? Is it Uhuru Kenyatta? Is it Ruto?
But
is it
Uhuru
Raila?
cannot
Yes.
run again.
But I'm just saying, are you going to front Gachagua?
I think it's difficult for my generation to pick one person because inherently, especially as Kenyans, we are corrupt almost every day. We live by corruption, and corruption has its bad things, but also Kenyans live by. It's only bad if it affects me negatively. But when it's helping you, like when you can get out of jail with something small. Are you really going to be against that kind of corruption?
I think that is different because that is saving your skin.
So I think that the problem is Kenyans don't know who is entirely anti-corrupt. You get? I feel like.
But
is
it necessarily going for the squeaky clean? Is that what you want to do for 2027? Is that what Gen Z wants?
I don't know what Gen Z wants as a collective. Personally, me, I'm more of the directive of it may not matter about these other guys, but the judiciary is what matters for me. I feel like we need a stronger judiciary. We need an AG who's willing and able to literally imprison. Like, there's a country, which country is it? Is it Mexico, if I'm not wrong? But there was at some point the Attorney General put the previous sitting president in jail for corruption. We need someone like that. We don't need leaders who are loud.
It is not the Attorney General that put people to prison. It is the prosecution.
Yeah, but like to that level.
But it is the prosecution.
Of leadership. It requires a lot of.
So then you are moving away from the judiciary. You are going to the police. You are going to the anti-corruption body.
I think we need a stronger judicial system. We need a better justice system. We need people who are no nonsense.
But
in the
anyway,
justice
you are now
system.
running away from the idea of putting somebody in leadership, somebody that is going to do what you as Gen Z want.
Because we can't
are
pick.
you saying that you guys are failing to get a candidate for 2027?
I'm saying that it's not a failure it's just a lack of even credible candidates. Who are the current credible candidates?
But you had Casmuel, you had the guy.
He wasn't. We didn't claim him as a credible leader.
How about
He
the other one that
self-appointed,
apparently was
self-spoken.
selling cars?
He's a businessman. All these people are just loud people who took an opportunity to redirect their attention to them.
So the situation that you are having right now is, oh, what the fuck?
I feel like, yeah. Because I feel like it reached a point we were like, wait, hold on. It's a good question. Who's your leader? Because it's like, when you go back, you're like, yeah, but who really would be our leader? When you look at all the options now, someone.
Do you think that a Gen Z would be your leader? Or do you want an old man that is quickie clean, a millennial or an X that is quickie clean?
I don't think it matters with who. I think it matters with who that person is, like as a person. It doesn't matter the age. For me, it won't matter the age.
Who are you supporting for 2027? Or you are not voting?
But we don't even know who's currently running.
But we know for sure that Matiang'i is going to run. We know for sure.
We don't know.
We know for sure that Ruto is going to run.
Because they've not gotten the proper, it's not been announced by ABC.
But the people that are likely to run.
But these things have procedures.
Do you like Matiang'i?
Are they even qualified?
Do you like Matiang'i?
I like what he did in the education sector when he was the CS for education.
Not what he did as Interior Minister and World Bank employee.
Well, that it's left for, it's a bigger conversation. But what he did in education, he attempted to remove the corruption.
How about Raila?
There.
Should he stand? How about Raila?
Isn't he, he's old, Bernard?
He's just 80.
Just 80?
No, but he's not like he's not like Biden. He does his faculties okay. I don't know whether he can read emails.
Raila is a no.
Do you think he can read emails?
Who?
Raila.
Of course. He's a learned person.
Do you think he can tweet?
Of course.
Can he write a Facebook post?
Of course.
Can he have sex?
I mean, he has had kids. There's evidence.
No, I'm just saying at his age.
At his age?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I'm not in his bed.
So, okay. But you know what I'm saying?
I think I do, but Raila is not ideal.
It's not ideal?
Yeah.
Because of his age?
Because of history.
Because of history?
Yeah.
What?
And even current events.
His history is history.
We need a Traore in this country.
Who is he?
We need someone like Ibrahim
Babu
Traore.
Wino? Why are you laughing? Babu Wino is one of...
that is the joke of the year.
Why is it a joke? I mean, when people...
Does Babu Wino give you Traore vibes? No.
I would have loved this guy. Can you wait? Oh, Collins, come and give this guy a mic.
Which guy?
This guy. Give him those mics. Ochoka, you can come closer here, and then we will give you a hot mic. We'll give him a hot mic. So you're saying you're saying that Babu Owino does not give you Traore vibes?
Not at all.
Why?
It's Babu Owino we're talking about, yeah?
Yeah, but what is he? I mean, he has not killed anybody.
That's left to be said. There's a lot there.
Yeah?
He hasn't killed anybody, allegedly, I think.
Yeah?
We've never forgotten what he did to DJ Evolve.
You're shooting him in the face. Do you think it was a rush of blood that Bobby that happened in a bar in a drunken stupor? Do you think that he
It's a lot of things, you know. One, we don't have really gun safety laws in this country. There's also the fact that we don't really have proper security in different establishments. Like, how do you walk into a club with a gun and they haven't frisked you enough to tell that you have a gun? They haven't made you not walk in there with a gun, you know?
Because the reason why I'm saying that is that he has been recently coming out as somebody that can save the country. He's somebody that fought with the Gen Z during the 2024 rioting. Yeah, he fought with the Gen Z and he climbed over the fence and said that I am with you on this and I don't like the 2024, 2025. And so I thought that he was with you guys. But anyway, apart from Senator Sifuna, he can't why do you always do this?
No, honestly, let's be serious. Can you mention serious names? We're talking about someone we're equating to Traore here. Like, honestly, let's be honest.
I don't think you are going to. I don't think. But so Ochuka, can I ask you something? Yeah.
Right.
Who is Traore, for example?
Well, Traore is one of those mirages that Africa seems to link to Thomas Sankara.
Yeah.
Because he's a Burkinabe. He's the head of a military outfit that got power by ousting a democratically elected president. And yes, he has seemed to straighten things up, a few things up, not all of them, in Burkina Faso, amongst them including agriculture. He has actually revolutionized agriculture, healthcare, institutions. But I think what Shaka, yes, Miss? And the younger generation seems to be missing is they are creating a vacuum, and whichever form or substance seems to want to gain traction within that vacuum, they reject it. But politics does not exist hanging somewhere. At the end of the day, you will not pluck a Traore, because I think what the risk we are having is we are running after personality or a cult. When you were starting the conversation, she was mentioning about the judicial, or let's say the justice system. But the sentiment that came out is we need a strong man, and if you are to be linking a strong man to Matiang'i or Traore, then you're missing what exactly is needed in the country. It's not like even, a country can have a good system in place or institutions, but institutions are not buildings or offices. They are people driven by philosophies, driven by value systems, driven by backgrounds. And these are people, real people with lived and backgrounds that they have come from. So at the end of the day, we might not really find, I don't like to be saying angel or devil, but I think that's the idea coming out, that we need to actually find somebody who is upright. Burkinabe is known for upright people, based on how Sankara used to idealize an upright Burkinabe. An upright person is somebody with moral ethics. They're grounded by humanistic values. They value women and children and fellow men. They have a sense of patriotism to the country, and therefore these values can be cultivated into the larger country, the larger idea of what Kenya we need. So then again, we risk, so it's already a year since the Reject Finance Bill 2024.
More than
actually,
it's like going to be a year next month.
Next month, yeah. So, and then there's no outfit that the Gen Z movement has produced. And this came as a result of us pushing the goalpost. This is not the man. This is not the man. So then who is the man? And you see time is coming.
Just can't be one.
And the problem I keep having with the Traore shenanigans is that we are building. You see, we, for example, I think the closest strongman that we can talk about that has weathered the storm and weathered time is the Rwandan president, Paul Kagame. But I think the difference with Paul Kagame, I'm not sure how Traore is doing it, but Paul Kagame has put a lot of structures, especially economic structures, to make that country is working. Because if we have a Traore in Kenya, how does a Traore in Kenya work together with the judiciary? Can the judiciary tell him that, no, what you're doing is against the law? And would he be able to step back and say, okay, let's respect the law?
I think even the bigger issue is what is the law? Because most of these laws have been heavily influenced by the westernized cultures to protect them and their interests.
But I think there are just laws that are just good laws, like human rights law.
Of course, there are those that are.
Yeah, and I think...
But we also can't ignore Kenya's position.
Because
and its power play with the
you
Western
remember
world.
the 2010 elections gave us very good laws that help us run how money that we collect help build this country. But we have seen a lot of people doing crazy things with that money. That has nothing to do with the Western world. Yesterday I was talking to some guy to Odhiambo Otieno who has worked at the county government. And he was telling me that, for example, Kisumu government got 10 billion, for development of Kisumu County. Kisumu County was using 6 billion to pay salaries.
Recurrent expenditures.
Yes, 6 billion to pay. I mean, no Western power has told Kisumu to use 6 billion to pay salaries. In any case, what is their interest in Kisumu? That is, so I think like sometimes these Western ideologies that we talk about is fluff, and it is not making sense. Sometimes, I understand. For example, somebody, I don't know who is putting a gun on these motherfuckers to borrow money. So much money that they are borrowing. I mean, you can stop these things, but if we have let's say 3 trillion, that we have collected, or that we want to spend, and then we cut away 1 trillion into people's pockets. I mean, I don't understand whether the Western powers are coming and telling Ruto that we want to steal this money and then we are going to give it back to you, when they are creating an offshore account. They are creating this offshore account because they just want to steal. So I think the idea of Western culture, of Western countries meddling in our affairs is true to a certain point. But I think most of the mess is created by the people themselves. If we have a hospital in Yakach, and there is, in fact, Russia the other day gave us fertilizer. Kwani, what is fertilizer? Just give out. And then they go and sell the fertilizer. I mean, in any case, the Western party has just helped us, and then these guys are messing it up. So anyway, going back to the Gen Z movement, I still think that you guys, for you to stand on your foot and be taken seriously, I think that we need somebody that you're saying, whether it is Kasmuel, whether it is that Janjaweed that has been selling cars.
It's not Kasmuel.
It is not Kasmuel. Why do you don't like Kasmuel? By the way, I hear it is very tribal that you guys don't like Kasmuel.
No.
Not
tribe
tribal.
is not even... Let me tell you, most Gen Zs don't even give a shit about tribe. They don't even know tribes. Like, you could tell me your second name and it would take me a while, if I don't know you, to figure, or if I don't know that name is related to a tribe.
You think that they are not gonna grow up and become tribalists?
For us, it's entirely not about tribe, and that's what's annoying about even what's going on right now with people announcing they're going to run for whatever seat. They're inherently forcing this thing of tribe.
You don't sympathize with your grandfather that was hosted the other day because he's a Kikuyu?
Grandfather?
Your grandfather from Mwamunyoro.
Hey, may I have a grandfather?
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Are you talking about Rigiji?
Yeah. Do you like him?
As a person?
No,
I've not met him.
As a politician.
As a politician?
Yeah.
Let me just say this. There's no politician currently that I like in this country.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
But that's very problematic because
I know, and that's the problem. And that's the problem.
Don't you think that, like I asked you whether what the fuck, it's where you guys are, and anyway, we are going to go into the
because when you look at who's there, none of them. You can't pick any of them because most of like at the end of the day, you can only trust human beings to act in their self-interests.
Yeah.
someone can come and tell you, but I'm not corrupt, I've done this, I've done A and C and D, until they get that power, that all goes down the drain. They don't forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think and also this agenda of like, it's like people are bashing Gen Z to pick someone. It can't be one person. You know that? It just can't be one person.
But we can only have one president.
We can only have one president.
Let me
But that president has a team. You know, there are people behind this president. So it just can't be one. We can't. It's like saying, let's put this rotten banana with the ripe bananas. As we've picked the rotten banana. But what about these other bananas? Then the rotten one comes and influences these other ones, or vice versa. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But even then, you have to choose a president that then will choose the CSS.
I think.
So, but then let me go back a little bit and ask you this question.
Yeah.
You have Matiang'i, you have Ruto standing, you have Martha Karua.
Is Ruto standing again?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, he is. Sorry, I thought you said Raila.
So we
Martha
have Ruto,
Karua.
we have Matiang'i, we have Martha Karua, we have Babu Owino. Who you are not
Who's the other one?
There's no one. Boniface
there was
Mwangi and his
another
Ukweli party. Boniface Mwangi and his Ukweli party. How do you like Boniface Mwangi?
I like the work he's done as an activist.
Okay.
I stand by a lot of what he's done, you know, and I sympathize especially with. It takes a lot of courage to go out there and combat people with power, and you get hurt in the process. I think that's a lot of strength in a person. So yeah, you have to admire.
Would you give him the opportunity to run the country?
To run the country, it depends. Who else is going to be running with him? You know, my question is, who else is going to be running with them?
Like the vice president?
The vice president, everyone who's in the cabinet, who's in the
we can't talk about the cabinet and we have not elected a president.
And that's the thing Gen Zs are trying to push. We can't fixate on one thing only. We have to do a complete overhaul.
Are you claiming that for your Chuka to be the president that he wants to be, and he should get all the CSS he's thinking about and parade them during electioneering? We should do that.
I feel like we should know, if you're running, give us a list of who you potentially think, or who you think you are going to be picking as the CS of what and who. And we need to know, because we cannot be blindly following one person.
I agree.
We also need to pick who else is going to be, who are the brains behind this one person? Because, you know, that one person is not going to be the only one making decisions. This is not a dictatorship at the end of the day. Other people are going to influence this decision. We need to know. And I think that's the point Gen Z we're trying to put across. But it's because no one wants to listen to the full statement. We can't pick one person. It just can't be about one person. You know, it can't be about one tribe. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not about tribe. It's not about a particular person. We want a complete overhaul. You know, we need to know from the president to who? To the person, to the everyone, basically. To the janitor in that house. We need to know.
Recently, the Luos welcomed Ruto in a very old-fashioned way. With a lot of love and showing up in a stadium at night. Are you laughing?
A lot of love.
Yeah. It was true. It was a lot of love.
Yeah.
And they were in the stadium at night and sang like there was going to be a football match the following day. And when the sun rose, the political climate or the weather in Nyanza was that of ululation, you know, and it was beautiful to see. And I've said several times that the Luos are a very happy lot when they are happy politically. You can feel it in Kisumu. There's more sex, I believe.
What, you walk into Kisumu and there's sex in there?
Yeah, people love people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people love it.
Okay.
And Ruto standing and talking in Luo, and it gave me a flashback of him going to Kikuyu land and speaking in Kikuyu and singing with the Kikuyus in their old rugged churches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, why old Jaggeru? Wait, Jaggeru, you're tribalic. Do you know that?
I am?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, maybe.
It's not a maybe, you are.
I'm tribalist?
Yes, you are.
Like I don't like Kikuyus?
You have this bravado about being a Luo. It
No.
doesn't make sense.
It's
but then you also tarnish Kikuyus so much. I don't know what we did to you.
Do I tarnish them? No, I
you
don't.
speak very ill of
No, I
Kikuyus.
don't. No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, when?
You make very ill jabs here and
Like
there of
what? Like what?
Kikuyus. Like
Why
where-
is it that when I'm
even
making
you
a jab,
people
when I'm
have-
making a jab about Luos being in the
What?
air and sex being in the air, you are so okay. But now when I'm talking about Kikuyu rugged churches, I mean they don't look good. So
Why,
when
but
you-
there's no church that is like particular to a
yeah,
tribe.
so why are you saying that I'm
You
swiping
see,
at Kikuyus?
This is why my problem is with this whole tribalism issue.
No, I have no problem with Kikuyus
Where
at all.
is-
I used to have a problem with Kikuyus.
What was the problem?
The problem with Kikuyus that I used to have was that when we were growing up in the village, we were told that Kikuyus are the next thing to demons. If you have to go and shake a Kikuyu's hand, you have to look at your fingers when you withdraw your hand, because one might have been stolen.
That's what
So,
they say about us.
Yes, so I was taught that Kikuyus
Interesting.
are thieves. Right?
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I was told that they are thieves and they are killers and they don't like anybody else.
Okay.
All right?
Interesting.
When I was in the village. And I think this is a conditioning.
Do you still believe that?
See, now let me tell you the story. Because you thought I don't like Kikuyus. So let me give you the whole story. Right? You want to listen?
Yes.
So that happened. I actually thought that Kikuyus are... You see the way a lot of the Generation X and millennials in Kikuyu land have always hated the Luos. And hated Raila, and have always said, even in the last election, the reason why Ruto really capitalized on the idea of not voting Raila in was because of that hatred that has been simmering between the Luo and the Kikuyus for a very long time. All right? So now, even Kikuyus call Luos kehes, like the most derogative term that you can call anybody. When Raila always said something before during Kibaki's government, when they went against each other and went against Uhuru, they used to call them kehes. And
Kehe.
Kehe, yeah. And when the Luos were being shot in the streets in Kisumu, they were celebrating in Nyeri and other parts of Kikuyu land. So there is that hatred between the Luos and the Kikuyus. So that is what we were also taught when we were growing up. And this is coming between the enmity between Jaramogi Oginga Odinga and Kenyatta. In 1969, Kenyatta went to open Russia Hospital. You know, the Nyanza hospital that was built by the Russians, by the Russian government. And then they differed on the podium. And Kenyatta decided that I'm not interested in being here. All right? And the people around started making noises. And as his motorcade left, they were shooting children and women that had lined the road while his motorcade was coming back to Nairobi. So those have been simmering tensions between the Kikuyu and the Luo. And those are the things that I believe. When I came to Nairobi and started my education, I started being close to Kikuyus, you know? And as I continued being close to Kikuyus, I realized that these motherfuckers are just like me, struggling people are trying to make a living, blah, blah, blah. So I started to unlearn these things, all right? My best friend is called Njenga. We met in college, and he was the only one with a phone. And when I wanted to call home, I would call through his phone. When my mother died, they sent a message to his phone. Right. So I no longer when I published my first book called True Citizen, Sakikuyu Boniface Mwangi, that gave me 80,000 to publish that book. And when I was supposed to launch it, I didn't have the money to launch it. Boniface Mwangi provided space. And then provided snacks. And if you look at the amount of people that have bought my books over the years, it is 70% Kikuyus. So no, I no longer hate Kikuyus. And I do not think that they are bad people. I think that in Kenya, we have been socialized to make other people our enemies for somebody else's gain. There is a reason why Kikuyus were told by the political elite that Luos are not good people, so that they can centralize that power within themselves. And if they are our enemy, they will always be voting us in. You see, so I think that, but so you understand. So let's go back to Nyanza. Sindio, during the Ruto thingy. We go back there. But first of all, before we go back there, I want to congratulate you on starting your beautiful, beautiful company.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. People of the internet, this beautiful girl has started a company. Like, would you call it a luxury brand?
Yes.
It's called, I don't know. Collins will have to, after this, Collins will have to zoom in so that we have a look at this thing. She has started a company called Charm and Rune. It's a beautiful name.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds like something from Eastern Europe, right?
Really?
Yeah, it sounds like. Ooh. So what she has done is that she will be selling these things. So what she did was to make for me a necklace. She did not only make me a necklace, she also made my daughter a necklace. See how beautiful it is?
And your wife.
And my wife. Right?
Yeah.
So thank you very much. I want to pull it out, and then we are going to go back to Nyanza.
To Nyanza.
But now you understand that I don't hate Kikuyus, and I have no problem with them. As a matter of fact, I think that Kikuyus have really contributed to where this country is. After independence, Kikuyus decided to make this country a capitalistic Kenya in a good way. Yeah. You can come and help me with this. So, people of the internet, this is very beautiful. I don't know what I'm going to call it. What do I call it?
Oh, I think I'll leave that to name, because I've not named it yet.
You've not named it?
Yeah, because like I was being inspired by you, so like it will have to be.
But what are these things?
That is, it's like it's a what? It's a fruit.
It's a fruit.
But it looks very. It's like an orange-ish tangerine.
Why am why am I orange-ish tangerine?
It's a citrus something.
What does it mean? That's somebody's character? That's a character.
Not really. I just thought it would suit you. You know?
Yeah.
Because also it has divisions with so many colors.
And your package is really nice, like John Ivy. You know John Ivy?
Who's John Ivy?
John Ivy is the guy that used to design Apple products. He will design the packaging, and he will design the fonts, everything. Yeah. John Ivy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks really, really good.
Thank you.
I don't know which one is for my daughter here. This one. How do you know?
Because I know.
This one is for my daughter.
The one in the
So
envelope.
this is really John Ivy. So you have got two packages.
Yeah, one is for your wife.
No. There is the outer package, and then there is the inner package.
Yeah, I really wanted something that you could gift someone easily if you wanted to gift them.
Yeah.
With very good packaging, and it comes exactly like this. But I don't like the way people put things in these bags. You know those bags, the woven bags.
The woven bags.
Yeah, I don't like those bags.
Oh, this looks.
I feel like if you're getting someone a gift, let it look like.
Oh, this is really good.
That's for your wife. Actually, you know,
this is for my wife.
She inspired me because she said she liked your red ring.
My red ring?
Yeah.
She did say that. She has never told me that she likes my red ring.
She told me she liked the ring and the red especially. So I was like, let me get her something red to match.
to match us. I don't match.
No, but this would look good. Especially because I love her skin because she is very melanated. So
okay.
It will really pop.
Melanated.
It will really pop.
Okay. All right, great. So tell me about it a little bit. How you started the idea. You told me that you've always loved making jewelry. And this is handmade, right?
Yes. Handmade.
Tell me a little bit about it. Then we can go back to Nyanza.
So I think when I was a kid, I used to steal my mom's old jewelry and try and alter it and make new things.
You can put it down.
So I think that's where my love for jewelry came from. Yeah, and then this was a childhood dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more about how it was a childhood dream.
Because so my mom used to have jewelry in a box, in different boxes, I think.
Yeah.
And then they're the ones like she never used to wear because maybe it was broken in a way or something, or she just didn't like it anymore. So there are times when she used to clean up her room and get rid of old stuff.
Yeah.
I used to use that opportunity to look at what jewelry she wants to throw away, and then I take that and then make it into something. So of course back then I didn't have all the tools to make it into something really good, but I think that's where my love came from.
Yeah.
So this is literally me living a childhood dream.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Of making my own jewelry.
What do you think about women in business, women starting their businesses and growing it? Women were supposed to, be at home and nurture.
Is this the male loneliness epidemic talking?
Men loneliness.
That's such a long word.
You've said it 3 times today, and I'm taking offense.
And I feel
am
like
taking offense at the things that you say about men. You know, men also have feelings, and I don't like.
Yeah. They do have feelings.
I don't like the way that you guys just think that you can take a brick and hit a man in the face and he doesn't feel anything.
Why is it an epidemic though?
What?
The loneliness.
Men. What do you mean by men are lonely?
See, that's what they're purporting on the media.
That they are lonely.
Yeah.
That they don't have.
Are you lonely?
Myself?
Yeah. Are you lonely?
Uchuka, where you are, whatever. Uchuka, don't be philosophical about it. With this guy.
So who's lonely? Who are they?
Yeah?
Sometimes.
But
not enough for
that is normal for you to get
an
lonely.
Epidemic.
For you to get lonely sometimes is normal. Yes. Yeah. But she is saying that men are yapping that they are lonely, right? But because why do you think they are not getting pussy?
Men don't even care. No, honestly, who gives?
You have no problem if your brothers are not having good relationships?
My brothers look like they're okay, but it wouldn't kill me if they don't.
But you said that you want to know if why men are claiming that they are lonely.
Yeah, why are they claiming that they're lonely? And also, why do they...
Yeah, but what do they mean by they are lonely? What do they mean?
I think you would tell me, because this whole thing has been about men.
Men being lonely.
Yeah.
Perhaps I think that relationships are getting harder for men. Relationships are getting harder for men. To get into healthy relationships is getting harder for men.
Why?
Because women have changed the script and changed the way they want to be dated.
Yes.
The way you should show up.
Yes.
They like perfumed men. Men that show up with combed hair.
Unataka kukuja ukinuka kitunguu.
Sasa si ndio hiyo nasema. Si ndio hiyo nasema. Yeah, and dating is becoming expensive for men, because if for you not to be lonely, then you must be having a person next to you, and having a person next to you can be very expensive, especially in the city of Nairobi. And that is why I was actually asking you the question that now, and because now if you are a woman and you are selling this thing, for example, for 50,000, you're a very tough woman. You are a woman of means. You know, kijana hawezi kuja tu kukutisha na chai ya Java. Akutishi. And that is the problem. When a man cannot be able to show up with what he has.
But see, you can go to the one mwenye unaweza mtisha na chai ya Java.
No, but you see now if
must you go to this one?
But why would you want me to go to only people that I can teach na chai ya Java? But you're not also listening to me. You are not listening.
I'm the one who's not listening.
And that is what I don't like about you.
You see why men are lonely?
Yeah. So those are the facts on the ground. The facts on the ground is that women now can say that I'm gonna start a company and call it a Charm and Rune.
Yeah.
And sell necklaces.
Yeah.
And bangles for 50,000, for 100,000. And then for a man, I think men have been conditioned that when I approach this woman, what can I give her so that she can be mine? So I want to take you out for coffee. I want to send you flowers. I want to do this and that. I want to fly you to Mombasa. And now you get a businesswoman that does not even like planes anymore because she flies to Europe. What are you going to dangle? What carrot is there to dangle? And I think therein lies the confusion for men. How do I get through to her? Because now what do I have? I hope that you are enjoying that episode, people of the internet. You know, everybody says there is no job. And that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their own town, in their own city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs. Mothers call uncles, uncles call fathers, but there are no jobs, right? Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them. I have worked for a long time online, I think more than 10 years. I work for Americans, I work for Europeans, I work for the Chinese, the Australian, Canadians, the Ugandans, name all of them. And last year, I had a eureka moment. I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I have been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a book called Goldmine, 18 Side Hustles for Africans. And it sold a lot of copies. In fact, I was going for, sometimes I was receiving 500 orders in a day. In 2025, something happened. AI came. I think in 2025, AI came. AI came in 2024, but in 2025, it is here with us. And people say AI is taking away their jobs. And for me, I'll say false. There are actually AI jobs. Now, mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. We now have in my book 25 online and offline side hustles that you can do anywhere in the world, whether you are in the village, whether you are in your small town, whether you're in a marketplace, whether you are in your house, you can do them. In this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance, drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I have made and lessons I have learned over 15 years in this online job market. You can become an executive assistant to busy folks in Europe, America, and Canada. You can also get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. There are many of them and they're in my book. You can also build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce without a shilling. You can also become an affiliate marketer or an online English tutor. And you can also do tens of AI jobs, and they're all in these books. If you have a job, that is fine, but I know around you there are so many people that are always looking for jobs and at home watching Netflix. Buy this book for your brother, for your sister, for your mother, cousin, husband, who is back at home all day, all night watching Netflix. Okay? Buy it for your friend, that friend who is always asking you for cash, you can buy this book for them. All the information is in the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or you can go to my website, which is oduorjaggeru.co.ke. The book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. Or if you're anywhere around the world, the book is $10. So thank you very much. Back to programming.
Okay, you know, first of all, women didn't change the script. We played the script better than you. In fact, men created the script. They wrote the script. I mean, they wrote the script on capitalism, on patriarchy. If I decide to start a company, right, like as you've said, and I'm selling something at like 50,000, 100,000. So you start a company, what's stopping you? You're in a man's world, in fact. What's stopping you from starting your own thing and making that money yourself?
The level, the playing field is very level, and that is problematic.
Why is that problematic?
It is problematic because of what I've just explained. That if you want to woo a woman, you want to give her things, flowers and shit like that. And it is not, and most women now really are saying, what more can you offer? And so we have this tug of war. and women are doing better than men. Like, for example, Nairobi is a matriarchy.
Is it?
Yeah. If you get out of this place and look at the cars being driven, most women are in these cars. Almost 60% of the people driving personal cars in this city are women. Yeah? Na wewe na viatu yako inakaa vumbi, are you going to stand in traffic and knock at a window?
Sasa msichana aliamka akajituma.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, and don't think that I'm saying that those are bad things. I'm just telling you how the situation looks. You ask me why men are lonely, and I'm telling you why I think.
I think my question is, why is it an epidemic? Is it COVID? You know, there's a female Western comedian who said we should shorten it to No Hose 19. Why is it an epidemic? You know.
It is true that men are suffering, and I think that men are in a very bad place.
You know why I don't believe it? That it's an epidemic thing. Like it's because first of all, in this room, no man has said that they're really lonely, and there are how many men in this room?
You think that is how men communicate? Another big blunder from you.
That is also not our problem as women, because men don't know how to communicate. Is not our problem.
And you see now, you are explaining this situation. You are actually explaining why men are lonely, and you're not even listening to yourself.
If you know, first it sounds like a bullshit
story.
It's a bullshit headline. Because if men were really lonely, we should be seeing them lining up, queuing in therapists. You shouldn't be able to get a consultation or whatever.
Who tell you men go to shrinks?
Okay, we should be seeing them throwing themselves.
She's such a bad actor.
I'm not seeing the stats on where is this loneliness coming from? How have they measured this loneliness?
Don't take this away. Don't take this away from Cham and Rune. So now this is so. Tell me how the market is gonna look like for you. Who are you gonna be selling to?
I'm selling to everyone, to whoever can afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna be selling it?
So currently we're selling online. I'm hoping one day to have like a physical store because I have really big visions for where this could go. But I think I'm just taking it one day at a time right now. So right now we're doing purely online. And I think, I don't know, have you ever noticed how delivery is so complicated in this country?
It is very complicated. Like I have tried ordering with Oraimo 3 times. Yeah. They haven't delivered.
I think
for whatever reason, I don't know.
That's one thing, like I can pride myself. We figured out delivery very affordably, especially for Nairobi. You get doorstep delivery for only 300 bob. I think that's a luxury most people don't.
But if you're in a luxury market, do people really care if they buy something for 50,000, you're bringing it for 2,000?
I mean, it matters. You know, like me.
Does it?
It matters for me how it gets to you. It really does for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it matters because I looked at what personally aggravates me. I don't want to have to go through pickup. Okay, pickup mtani is a good concept. I'm not tarnishing the business, but I don't want to have to go through someone to get my thing. I don't also want to, like I live in Rongai. If I'm ordering something from CBD, it's going to cost me 800 to 1,000 bob in just delivery. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because I don't want to go to CBD, me, I'm happy to pay that cost. But someone else would look at what they are buying and compare it to the cost of delivery and be like, and that's why. And then and then also I feel like as businesses, there's not so many options in terms of proper delivery services. Figuring out even just the logistics of how this thing will get to your client is a bit of a pain point because you have to get credible delivery partners. You also have to have structures around it that make sense. So for me, like I opted, it gets to you, to your hand. It gets to your doorstep. Wherever you are, it will get to you. You don't have to go through someone else to get it. Yeah.
This one in your hand is what?
This is a charm bracelet.
Charm?
Yeah.
The ones that women put on their waists?
Yeah, I'll also be making for the waist.
You'll be making for the waist?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very nice. Especially for men and bedroom sex, you know.
Really?
Playing
but I do.
Playing with those ones.
There's something my father told me about jewelry. The one thing that I remember is if you want people to look at something, you wear around that area.
Yeah.
So he said jewelry brings attention to around that area. So if you wear a necklace, people will look at your cleavage, they look at your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wear something on your hand, they look at your hand. Like, it just brings attention to that particular thing. So jewelry is very interesting. I like
It is only interesting that when I started wearing the red ring, women started talking about my fingers. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it brings attention to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if you walk out here with that, I hope there are women who are going to look at it and wonder, where have you gotten it from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should.
They should.
I will tell them charm and Rune.
Yeah. But I do know that it's so okay.
It's very nice.
But
It's very nice to play with the beads on a woman's waist.
I think
With beads or beads? Yes, beads.
I think that there's a lot of jewelry that can be tied to sexual lingerie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That would
So
be
if you're looking for something spicy, don't worry. Soon.
Yeah, you'll get it.
I'll be making it.
I want to get back to politics because we were talking majorly about
These
politics.
Nyanza people.
So I'm gonna congratulate you on Charm and Rune.
Yes.
You're a very lovely person, and I think that you're gonna do well with this brand. Please don't let it die.
I can't.
For me, as Dialogues Jaggeru and Udwori Jaggeru, I want to support you where I am.
Yeah.
And that is why I'm telling my people, please check out Charm and Rune and get something. How old are you again?
My age?
Yeah, 20?
I'm 24. Turning 25 this year.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Turning 25?
Yeah, turning 25 and having your line of jewelry. Ochuka, what do you think?
It's impressive.
It's very, very
Thank you.
impressive.
Thank you.
Considering
Yeah.
the business environment is not very kind for startups.
It's not.
Yeah.
And as much as we say women have made leaps, you still have a lot of obstacles in the business environment. We can only hope that it does go beyond, farther than the reach that you hoped for.
Yeah.
Even the
Amen.
one on your hair is Charm and Rune.
No, this is not. Yeah, this is just a collectible. I like collecting things that look pretty.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk with you about weight loss. I don't know how much we have weight loss, but first of all, what did you think when you saw the Nyanza people, having a good time? And I told you the flashback between Ruto talking in Luo and then him in
Yeah, I think when you were speaking, it makes me feel. Every time I hear someone who's not Gen Z, let me just say that, who's not Gen Z, not Gen Alpha, speaking anything to do with politics, tribe must be emphasized in that conversation, which is not entirely your fault because you grew up in that world where tribe was like, I think tribe was used for a lot of things back then. There were places you couldn't even be served if you were not of the tribe around that area, So I think we are at a place where a lot of things are changing. And what I think, and I believe what my generation is seeing is, we went to schools where if you spoke in your mother tongue, you were beaten. So we had to stick to English, Swahili. So most of us don't even know our mother tongue. We don't know our own tribal languages. So that's why it's never, like, for us, when you speak of politics, it's that tribe thing, it doesn't come to my mind. When you say Kisumu, may I think of it as a place with people. I don't
which is really interesting.
Yeah.
And therein lies ignorance. Mm-hmm. It is so ignorant that you can see Ruto going to Luoland and not thinking about Luos politically, because that's what it is.
It could be ignorance.
That is, yeah.
But it could also be intellect.
Yeah.
We are no longer seeing tribe. We are seeing, okay, he went to Kisumu. To us, he went to a place with people. It's not he went to a place with
and I think that is the ideal.
It's ideal. It's what we are pushing for, and that's why the current system doesn't work for us.
So when you saw him in Kisumu,
mm-hmm.
it did not occur to you that he's trying to influence the region.
I feel like
it did not occur to you that he's influencing the region.
It does occur to me that he's trying to influence the
and,
region.
And if he's influencing the
Based
region,
on,
you did not think that region is the Luo community.
No, let me explain.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that I don't know like what he's trying to do. It's because in your world of millennials, boomers and Gen X, you guys still think in tribe. For us Gen Zs, we don't think in tribe. Okay. But when you guys do something, we have to remove ourselves from how we think to see it from your point of view. You get what I'm saying? So it's not ignoring that his agenda, because I would see him touring and going to, when I hear them speak, watu wa mlima, sijui nini, as a Gen Z, as just Shaka, me, watu wa mlima are just people who live in a mountain, around a mountain or something, But when I have to think of it in the way you would have thought about it, then I would, so traditionally they usually call it watu wa mlima because they think Kikuyus are there, So I have to, you see what I'm saying? Like, for my generation, we have to force ourselves to, let's see it from their point of view. What are they saying? Okay. So they would if you say watu wa mlima, me, I just think it's a mountain and people live there. For your generation, you've grown up knowing watu wa mlima ni Kikuyu. You see what I'm saying? So for us, it's not a matter of tribe.
But then how then do you, because you're 25, and I imagine that is mature enough to interpret what is going on around you. So for example, what I think is going to happen is in 2027, all right? And I will allow you to, I will follow your thinking after I've explained. So in 2022 elections, Ruto was having the Kalenjins in his basket, all right? And then he knew that he does not have the Luos in his basket. Because the Luos have always voted 99% the way Baba wants them to vote. Kikuyus have always stuck almost 90% to whoever they want to give. Everybody falls in line. Kalenjins have always fell in line every time they are voting. So Ruto knew that he does not have the Luos in his in his voter basket. He needed to find a tribe that he's going to woo and fall in line behind him. And so he made a lot of, foray into Kikuyu land and the larger Meru and Embu community, so that when these people are behind him, he's assured that this is going to happen. And true to what we thought, most of the Kikuyus voted for Ruto. And most of the Kalenjins voted for Ruto. And Luos did not give him any votes of substance. So then we have a falling out between Gachagua and Ruto. And people from Kikuyu land were pretty pissed off about the whole thing, right? And at some point, that region fell completely out of favor with the government. So in his head right now, Ruto is thinking, gosh, in 2027, I may not have these people supporting me, the millennials and the Gen X over there, okay? And now, my interpretation is he has decided to go for Baba, all right? Hoping that once Baba falls into line, Baba's people will fall into line.
Okay.
And so if we have an election in 2027 with the Kikuyus having a candidate, the assumption is that most of the Kikuyus, even if you remove Gen X out of the question, are going to be voting for somebody else and not Ruto. And then Luos are going to vote for Ruto, and the Kalenjins are going to vote for Ruto. And then with that kind of tribal mathematics, he's going to go in to power.
Yeah.
So the question I want to ask you is, as a Gen Z, you are not seeing this unfolding.
No, we do see it. We just wish that it wasn't about tribe. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We wish it wasn't about tribe. We wish the conversation doesn't always have to go back to tribe. That's what we wish. Because you have to remember that we are the generation that we were children in the middle of the 2007 to 2008 violence. We saw it, we were traumatized from a young age. I remember how crazy it was. I remember them going round. I remember I grew up in Naivasha. Naivasha is territory that has been fought for by so many tribes. The Maasais claim it, the Kikuyus claim it. And during that time, what happened was even the Mau Mau were going round and they were scaring different tribes. And you see, we wish it wasn't about tribe because we were traumatized as kids when we saw it was about tribes. So we don't ignore that it exists. The difference between, because if you think about it, we have basically the same-ish system with the US because there are states that hold more power than other states. Here, it feels like there are tribes that hold more power. So it may be strategic when politicians are visiting different regions to influence different people because, yes, they do see that traditionally, there are tribes that have held more power or perpetuated to hold more power, you know? But for our generation, it's like, must it be about tribe?
I spoke to a certain lady that told me that she's a millennial, and she told me that she did not want to be called, she did not want to introduce herself with a Kikuyu name because of the hate that at some point was going around about the Kikuyu community. Okay, and even the Luos, some have abandoned their Luo names because there is a saying in Kenya that your name betrays you, right?
It does.
You've heard that your name betrays you.
Yeah.
And so, as Gen Zs, you're thinking that right now, Gen Zs in the Millennium can say that, for example, if Casmuel had not abandoned the boat and stayed with Gen Z, all right, and stayed true to the calling of the Gen Z and denounced the government, denounced Raila Odinga, denounced everybody and said that we want fresh blood, we want to go with this. So you're thinking that the Kikuyu millennials, Gen Z, would say if it is, I'm not going to listen to my mother, Casmuel, who is a Luo, is the man that should rule this country, and we're going to vote him, and this is what we want.
Yeah. I feel like this is, what is happening is we are at a time where a lot of things are changing. The youth who are now going to be making up majority of the voters' share have grown up in systems where first we saw what tribe did in 2007 to 2008. Two, we went to high schools and schools with different tribes where it didn't matter where you are from. You are my desk mate, that's it. You're my classmate, that's it. We're in the same school, that's it. There was no, this class is for Kikuyu, and then this one is for Luos, and then this one is for Kalenjins, and this one is for, I don't know who else.
Ochuka, do you think this is immaturity?
It's inaccurate.
The fact that Gen Zs think that they're just children, because I am just thinking, I'm trying to flash back into my life when I was probably 20 years old, whether I was seeing the tribal nature of our country or whether I wasn't seeing it. Because in my head, I am thinking that perhaps they're looking at it this way because they have not had an experience of what your tribe means to you and what your name means to you. That at some point in life, it becomes a reality.
No, I think what happened is around, I feel like going back to that 2007 to 2008 thing, because we were children, we were young and impressionable at that time. Whatever we saw scarred us. We remember, like I remember everything that happened most things that happened during that time. It was because we saw this thing was about tribe. The violence was entirely about tribe. You were spared because you were of a tribe, or you were killed because you were of a tribe. It was about tribe. It wasn't about what you said made sense, what you said didn't make sense, what you did made sense. It was a question, like everything else went out of the window, and the question was only tribe. So I think that's why Gen Zs are entirely against that idea of must it be about tribe? Must it go back to tribe? Can we remove the tribal factor and judge someone from how they are speaking, from what they're saying, from their ideologies and not from where they came from, because that doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's because if it did matter, then there wouldn't have been that war. We wouldn't have gone through that. Yeah.
It's very true. I get where you're coming from, and I think your arguments are from a scarred place where you're thinking, what's the alternative to what we have, what this country has witnessed for 50 or so years? But let's go back a little bit. You mentioned something which I really loved when you were stating that some states in the US have certainly more power. And I wanted to bring to your attention something called the native voter swing states. Like if you're talking Arizona, you're talking Montana, you're talking Alaska. These have native voters.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So when you look at these states, they're actually tribes. And you're a lawyer, yes?
No.
You're not? I think it's your other friend who's a lawyer, or which one?
Muyu is the lawyer.
Yes, he is. Oh, yeah.
He's a lawyer.
Muyu is, yes.
Yeah, she's a lawyer. So
Yes.
if you look at back how, because what we have as a state is a Eurocentric ideology. Like it was born in Europe. And it was easier in Europe because you could simply pluck some Belgians and even France has very small little tribes, which many people do not know. So tribe has been weaponized in Kenya so much that every time somebody mentions tribe, what comes out is a scar and a wound, and not the pride and itself as a resource or something that you can use to actually make better decisions about living together and coexisting in a space. So we cannot actually discard tribe as if it's something that is only wounding. It's only wounding because we have made it so. And I think when we were killing each other in 2007 and 8, it was a defense of what tribe means to me, but not what it could mean to you as Shaka. You mean? I who is killing my fellow Kenyan because he's of a different tribe is simply defending my neurosis in terms of I cannot be able to coexist with this person in this particular space. But it's not in itself that tribe is a bad thing. I feel like younger generation are a bit of, they're burying their heads in the sand, because tribe is still important in the US, and US is sort of like the father of democracy, 200 and plus years since it was like, since its inception. So we cannot say that tribe itself should not factor in. I think we need to
It can't
provide,
be the only thing.
Yes, provide other alternatives and avenues so that we can politic around public service, for example. I think this is one of the things that I really wanted to bring to our attention, where we can move from personality or cultism and we can move towards public service. So then when Jaggeru wants to be the governor, we are asking him about questions of how he can deliver the vision for Kisumu County, and not whether he comes from Nyakache and we need a governor from Seme.
And what has he been involved in?
Yes.
And that's, I think, what Gen Zs are trying to say. Like, we see these other generations, and the first thing they're purporting is tribe. And it's like, hold on, but what are they saying? What are their policies? What do they want to achieve in this country? What are they? But when we hear this other generation speaking, it's like, toa huyo ni mjinga ni Kikuyu, toa huyo ni mjinga ni. I remember, and I feel like this may have been one of the first things that even tied into with me hating Christianity, is I have very Christian parents, let me call them that, right? And I remember every time during an election, if Raila was speaking on screen, to your channel. And me, I was like, first of all,
To your channel,
aren't you Christian? Because you should not be speaking like that about anyone. Like, to your channel, you're mjinga. And I'm like, you've not even listened. And that was the thing. Like, and they used to literally switch channels. Eka Citizen, you ndio iko na watu wetu.
See what happened Raila huko pia.
Eka who. And I'm like, okay, but from a young age, we saw this. It was always first tribe. As we are saying, can tribe be the last thing that it comes to when we are picking leaders? Can tribe be a non-factor? So your Kikuyu, so what? So your Kamba, so what? What do you want to do? What have you done? What's your history?
Do you think that Gachagua is a tribalist, like it has always been publicized?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think all the ones who are currently in governance right now are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. Because when you hear even how they speak, sisi watu wa mulima, sisi watu wa... Can you just say Kenyans?
Yeah.
We're all Kenyans at the end of the day. You know, we all live in Kenya. Okay?
Yeah.
I wish it was even a county fight. That would have even sort of seen how it would have almost made sense. I wish it was sisi watu wa Nairobi, ama sisi watu wa Nakuru. But sisi, like, when it becomes about tribe, it's okay. If tomorrow you die and you are reincarnated in the opposite tribe, then what?
It looks like even even for us millennials, even marrying you as a Kikuyu would be very problematic in my...
Oh, I remember when I was young and I was sat down and told, these tribes, you should never marry. I wasn't even 13. I wasn't even thinking about boys or anything.
Which tribes were you told not to marry?
The first one was Luo. You can guess that. I'm from a majorly Kikuyu. I'm not entirely Kikuyu, but I'm from majorly Kikuyu. So of course, the first ones they said was...
What did they tell you about?
And they had reasons.
What was the reason for that? Let's be honest. This is a table of honesty.
It's a safe space.
Because I will also tell you why they tell us not to marry Kikuyu women.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
I was told, what did they say about Luos? They said Luos, they don't know how to spend money wisely. You know, Kikuyu say that about Luos, they don't know how to spend money wisely. Uko na Range Rover, lakini unaishi kwa nyumba ya mabati. That's what they say. And then they also bring in some of the cultural practices.
Okay.
You know, kwanza, especially around death. Those ones are usually mentioned.
Talala na maiti.
You know, when they say watu wa Ukambani au ni wachawi.
Yeah.
They say, who else?
Yeah.
They have something to say about... I
Oh,
think
the
they
other
have
tribes.
something to say about every tribe. Yeah. Like, of course, I've heard almost everything they've said about Kikuyu women.
Yeah. You've heard them.
Yeah, I've heard what they say about Kikuyu women.
Other tribes.
Yeah. They tell us we don't have an ass.
You don't have an ass.
They say we don't have an ass.
Yeah.
And then they also say we kill our husbands. That's... Oh my God!
Yeah, they say that there is something Kikuyu women put in the food, and it just kills you slowly.
Yeah,
kills you like in 5 years you just die natural death.
The grand still were.
And then wanakuweka in the backyard kama mahindi.
Oh my God! Yeah, they say, but I don't know. I don't hate Kikuyu as a tribe. I mean, I am Kikuyu. I don't really hate any tribe. I find them fascinating. I wish we talked more about the traditional practices of our tribe so that we can know our history.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should be the first factor when we are picking our leaders, really.
Yeah.
Like,
or picking our spouses.
or picking our... Because it's the same thing, like, if we decide to now pick leaders based on blood type, then what?
Yeah.
You know? So
it's problematic.
It's problematic, yeah. I think we should have more conversations to find out what other tribes say about each other. We should have more tribes saying what they say about each other.
I will have it. I will have it. Maybe on our next conversation with you, we will have two other hot mics.
Yeah, because these are things we are told. Like me at a young age, I was told, don't marry from these tribes. But you see, when they're telling you don't marry from this tribe, it's so that they can come back and tell you.
I still fear
Kikuyu.
I still fear Kikuyu women though.
Why?
Nigga, bitches are the bad bitch.
They say don't marry a Kikuyu man, he's stingy.
Hey, pana toa pesa kwa peleka nyama choma kila siku.
You know, it was so funny because me, when he was telling me, so I'm like, so who do we marry? Because he said, don't marry a Kikuyu man, he's stingy. Don't marry a Luo man, he'll spend money on you, but you live in a mabati house, is a refugee what? And then when they talk most of these tribes, the ones around the coastal region.
But even the conversation of really, because right now what is trending is do not marry a Luo man. In fact, that is trending in Kenya right now.
Don't marry a Luo man.
Don't date a Luo man. Bad idea. Bad idea. Yeah. Bad idea. Uh-huh. I think one of these days we need to sit down and really go through the mechanics of a Luo man. And see why Kenyan women do not like Luo men the way they don't like Luo men right now. Like me, I've been to Jaggeru, you look so nice, I would be your second wife, but Luo men.
See, because you people have spoiled it for yourself.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Kikuyu men.
Okay.
They're probably worse. I can tell you for a fact they're worse
Yeah.
than Luo men, but they don't shout about it. You guys are very flaunty about it.
Yeah.
So that's why people know. I mean, the thing is, the problem with what they're saying, Luo men, I think Luos are just very loud people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kikuyus do a lot of these things, but chini ya maji.
Yeah.
Chini
I
ya
think I hear they also fuck around a lot.
A lot. Chini ya maji.
But the Luos will want all these women in the same Land Rover.
In the same, yeah. Yeah.
In the same event and cause chaos.
Girlfriend ako back left. Baby ako passenger seat.
It was very nice having you again, Shaka. Thank you very much for coming out of the woods with goodies.
Yes.
You know, so when they're getting it, what do? They Google Charm and Rune. Where do they get them?
You can follow us on Instagram or TikTok. We have a direct line on WhatsApp. You can reach to us, or you can get us on email if you want to do more personalized. Maybe you want to do something for a wedding or something. Hit us up.
Yeah. So thank you very much, people of the internet. That was me talking to Shaka in 2025. This is the first time we're talking.
Yeah.
In 2025.
Yeah.
A lot of those men have been looking forward to hearing your voice again.
Please, men,
and don't be rigid.
Buy for your girlfriends and your side chick. Kwanza the Luo men, please buy for all of them. Yeah, May won't say anything.
Why don't you why are you not talking about married men?
Even those ones.
Even those ones.
See, those ones are the ones who have a wife, a girlfriend, a side chick. They have.
That's not true. That's not.
The married men, Kwanza in Nairobi, are the single people. They're the ones who are single. They're more single than single.
It is the women who have made them single. Because they go to the other farm that
Didn't you take vows?
They go to the other farm that is doing well.
Didn't you take vows?
Those vows. Achana na hizo vows za kanisa watu wakora. I think people should write their own vows.
Don't people do that?
No, Christians mostly don't write their own vows. Uchuka si wanasomewa huku kwa kanisa wako nayo.
Yes.
Wako nayo wamepewa.
You swear an oath.
What would you change?
But I think
from
it's
the vows?
changing.
What will I change?
For better or for worse?
For better or for worse?
Till death.
No, I wasn't able to get married in church because the church wanted to charge me 26,000 to go and get married there on an altar where I go to worship. So nilienda tu kwa.
Yeah, that also doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I went to the Attorney General. In fact, the government was very good to me when I was getting married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the age, do you say vows or something?
I don't
Or you
think
just
I
sign?
don't think no there are no vows at the AG.
So you didn't say vows?
No, I did not say any vows at the AG. But I also don't think we should be saying vows to each other.
Yeah, I feel like you're
No.
setting someone. No, but
No, you should not say vows. In fact, I think marriage is becoming very problematic in 2025 going forward. Something has to change. The way it is structured, the way it works, the weight it puts upon the two people is unbelievable. Come on, I'm a woman who leaves her father and her sisters and comes to your house. You think you are the one who she can't leave? That is you are joking.
anyone can live.
Yeah. So, and men are polygamous people. Men are polygamous. I mean, I see us here and I see us there. Kwani
It's not a men thing.
atishaka too.
It's not a men
It
thing.
is a what?
Men are polygamous loudly. Again, women just do chini.
See me, the problem
Let
with
me
you,
see
Shaka, is that when I'm talking about men, you want to go back to women. See,
No,
I'm
do
talking-
chini ya maji. No, the thing, women. You don't think women cheat? You don't think women have?
I think women when they decide to cheat, they're very.
Women
they're-
just know how to clean up after themselves. You would never know. You would actually never know unless she wants you,
You
to
can
know.
know. You can know.
If a woman decides,
Yeah,
you will
but
never know.
I mean, Syria watu wawili people will always know. At some point, you know, the best. What is it called? What are they called? Ochuka, the guys that go to other countries to do the work for other government. The spies. Even the best spies make mistakes.
Of course.
So,
everyone is prone to make a
yes,
mistake.
you could make a mistake.
Yeah. But I feel because women know how to clean up the dirty tracks, it takes longer for them to be found out.
Yeah, and men are not men don't go around looking for
Men,
those things.
No, you see, like,
Because the reason why men
what do you mean don't go looking?
men hardly go looking for whether their spouses are cheating. It is the women that are always squabbling with, going around with phones, listening to
Wait, you've never been with someone and thought maybe they're cheating? It doesn't cross your mind?
No,
Like maybe they changed. But you see, again, this is what I'm saying. Like for when it comes to men, you can tell because they change their behavior or they change how they do things. You know, that's the problem with men. When you're cheating, you don't stick to the script. A woman will stick to the script. You would never know. You get your tea at 8. She'll cheat at 7:59, and at that 8, you get your tea.
Yeah.
And you would never know because she's not going to change her behavior. She's going to make sure everything stays the way it is. You would never notice. But a man, he'll skip a night. He won't come home.
Yeah.
He'll turn off his phone. Now it's fishy. Because why are you turning off your phone? Now it's fishy. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like women go longer.
You're saying that a woman can ride the man while answering your phone.
Yes. Oh my God. Women have done FaceTime. You don't know. Ask Bobby. I think she knows.
FaceTime. Mm-hmm.
While sucking dick.
Her. Hey.
People of the internet, thank you very much for watching. That is shaka for you. Terrible person.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. We welcome you. Thank you very much. We are Chaka. Do you know what is going on? We are almost at 100,000 subscribers.
Yes, congratulations.
On YouTube. Yeah, thank you very much. We have worked very hard.
Yeah.
But also, thank you to the people like you who have come and given us a laugh, given us a lot of insight into whatever we are doing. So please, if you're watching this episode and you haven't subscribed, it is you that we are waiting for to reach that 100,000. So please consider subscribing, hit on that notification bell. This show was supposed to be sponsored by Rune.
Rune.
Please check it out. Until another episode, bye for now.